Whenever you want to go, just do your thing. We're gonna roll it and roll it and roll it.
Alright, how you guys doing? My name is Montroy L. Here with my boy Marcus.
What it do?
And today we're gonna discuss a couple of topics that we just been wanting to get off our chest. So, want me to pop it off?
Go ahead.
Alright. So the first question is, what does it take for an individual to be successful? What do you feel like it takes?
I think it takes understanding of who you are. First, you gotta master yourself. Then you can master, you know what I mean, any craft that you're focused on executing. You know what I mean? But I think those specific words are key to everything. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of focus, a lot of persistence, and consistency.
Yeah.
You have to do something for a long amount of time, consistently, to be able to be successful in it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's exactly what I was going to say too. Like, in order to really be good at something or to achieve something, you got to be consistent with what you're trying to do.
Right.
In order to like achieve your purpose or have something aligned with what you're trying to do. Like, for instance, like weightlifters or bodybuilders.
Yeah.
You know, their success is, obviously getting fit, strong, big, getting gains, you know what I mean? In order for them to do that, they have to be consistent with their working out, their training, their diet. So like being consistent definitely does play.
Yeah, and having focused workouts too. You know what I mean? Just understanding the details of whatever craft you're involved in. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's always something new or something different that you can learn about a certain exercise. Yeah. That might change up your perspective or, you know what I mean, add to your tool belt. You know what I mean? That works a lot more, you know what I mean, efficient with how you're doing things.
Yeah, facts. And just like with life too, like if you got something you're trying to achieve, you got to make sure you're consistent with what you're trying to go for. Like if you're trying to go for a new job or create a new project or just anything, you got to make sure you're consistent, pressing the issue with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and surrounding yourself in the right environment, you know what I mean, the people that are doing the same things, or even if the people that you're around aren't doing the same things but are motivated, you know what I mean, in progress, in self-progression, that's something that will help you, be comfortable with doing things that are for you, you know what I mean, essentially just loving yourself enough to know that, you come first in life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and just take your task and the things that you're doing with yourself more important than anything that has anything to do with any institute, you know what I mean? Anything. Yeah.
So, also, too, like, if I might add, too, like, also I feel like a good thing to be successful is learn how to face rejection. You know what I mean? Right. Learn how to get through hearing no or, just failing at times. You know what I mean? Because
there is no failing, you know that.
Well, or just like having obstacles in your way.
A better way to put it is you need to go through things to learn things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're never going to be at the top of your game if you don't learn how to, you know what I mean, how to deal with, you know what I mean, any adversity. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to be able to deal with adversity to be able to obtain success, I believe. Facts. You know what I mean? So that's that's a key point in life is, how do you take the punch? It's not how good you're at something like, there's other people that's good at it too. So, you know what I mean? If you don't win the award this year, you know what I mean? Are you going to be able to stomach that mentally? Yeah. How are you going to get back to doing?
Be able to go through those phases. Yeah. You know what I mean? Definitely. I agree with that 100%.
What's something that you've been successful doing?
Successful doing lately, man, is honestly just
in general.
Oh, in general? First things first, I would say is just making sure that I'm straight, like, spiritually and mentally. Yeah. Like, I would definitely say I've been more disciplined on, what I eat, even though I already eat good to a certain extent. Yeah. But I've been trying to make sure
because vegan
is straight. Being vegan or plant based doesn't always mean you're the healthiest person. So I've been trying to make sure I just been putting whatever I put in my temple is gonna benefit me the best way it can. Okay. So I've been, making sure I'm eating a lot more healthier, like home cooked meals other than going out. Yeah. Like I said, like I told you earlier, been drinking my smoothies every day, green smoothie every day, intermittent fasting. Trying to eat within eat 3 times a day. Try to balance it out like 3 hours from each. Like eat a meal every 3 hours. And, you know, just staying consistent with it, you know what I mean? And, like, because, like, I was on the road, like, you know how I've been on the road lately, and I came back, man, my stomach was looking not good. I'm like, hold on, man, like, I can't have this. So, put myself back on a strict, like, detox diet, and I feel like ever since I did that, it's been, like, you know, helping me out, you know what I mean? So, I can say I will say I've been successful in, you know, making sure my temple is
just in health and all.
Yeah, you know, just better in.
And that's important, man. You know what I mean? That's at the top of the game, really. You know what I mean? Mentally and spiritually healthy. I mean, you don't have anything else other than that. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth. You know, like we say a lot that, you know, of course we do, you know, live in this world, but at the end of the day, we really live in our bodies. You know, so we got to make sure what we living in is taken care of. We got to make sure it's clean. Just like a room, we got to make sure our room is clean. We feel comfortable in it, you know, and all that stuff. So,
you don't need any clutter.
Yeah, hell no, man. You got to make sure your body is light as a feather.
So, just go ahead, man, and like, subscribe, follow, share all the good content we're coming with you. We got a lot of different, just random topics we're gonna come with, and we might just chop up the video. You might see part of it here. You know what I mean? And then, we just break up the conversation. You know what I mean? You might see just 30-minute clips of the conversation.
Yeah, and if you know, if you guys have any suggestions of any topics you guys want us to talk about, you know, feel free to let us know. We'll definitely be willing to talk about those things as well. Yeah,
for sure. You could my Instagram is elevatedmh88. You can hit me up there. You know what I mean? That'll be the most ideal spot.
Got the best work out there, man. Got the best work out there.
Yeah.
And also, my Instagram is King Montroyel, KingMontroyel 222. Sound like a long ass Instagram name.
It is. I mean, it's simple though. You know, King Montroyel 222.
Yeah, King Montroyel 222. Yeah. But hit us up. Hit us up. Contact us with anything you guys need, and we'll definitely get back to you.
But to get back to it.
So second question I got. Why do certain people lack discipline?
I think the major flaw in human beings, period, is the fact that we fall victim to the temptations of our own wants and needs. And I think that's like just the major flaw we have as people. You know what I mean? When you want to be successful and go get things, you can be tripped up by relationships, and that's, you know, that's family relationships, you know what I mean? Intimate relationships, that's, you know what I mean, whatever relationships you could, you know, work relationships, all those things can kind of knock you off balance, I believe. You know what I mean? Because not only that, like, there's things that are supposed to happen to you in life that people have to understand, like, this is just a part of, you know, dealing with things in life. It comes with it all. You wouldn't want to live into a utopian society, really. You know what I mean? I think that's the concept that people got to look at it. Like, you know what I mean? There's good and bad. There's yin and yang. You know what I mean? You don't want crime, but then also you don't want a perfect society. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like too good to be true to a certain extent.
And then there's everybody has like kind of a mischievous part of themselves. You know what I mean? So everybody gets into something, and if you took that away from life, I don't think people would be the same. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what we're imperfect, but it's a beautiful imperfectness.
That's a perfect way.
Perfectly, you know what I mean?
Perfectly imperfect.
So, and it's like beautifully made that way to where, like, I mean, you got to take the good, the bad. Everybody goes through it. You know what I mean? It's who you go through it with and how you go through it. You know what I mean? That's gonna make life what it is. You know?
And to a certain extent, like, I feel like that's why we have, you know, polarity. You know what I mean? Because we need, like, as much as we need the good, we need the bad. You know what I mean? It wouldn't exist without each other. You know, as much as we need hot air, we need cold air. You know what I mean? Because that's the laws of polarity. You know, 2 and 2. So I definitely feel like, well, back to like the question too. Like, I also feel like, you know, one of the reasons why certain people lack discipline, it's just like you were saying, like the distractions that people have in their lives, trying to focus so much on those pleasurable moments other than moments of clarity or like, moments of success, So I feel like, that's one of the reasons.
But even in that, I feel like you can have too much success. You know what I mean? Because so if you look at somebody that has a lot of something, once you get abundance of it, you're gonna abuse it.
Yeah.
Because you get comfortable in that space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that you gotta realize is the monotony of something sometimes has to be broken up with you being brave enough in your life. Like, all right, well, enough is enough, even if it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's crazy too, not to cut you off, but on that book, The Way to Superior Man, it talks about something exactly like that. Like, let's talk about
you in this book.
Oh man, I'm saying, man, I love that book. But it talks about so much. But like, just like
maybe that's where I unnaturally get a lot of my knowledge is because I'm reading
books like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of self-development books. But in the book, it was talking about kind of like what you said. It was there was a part in the book when it was talking about going through cycles.
Yeah.
And it was saying some people will reach a level of success, and then they come to a point where they feel comfortable in that position, a little bit too comfortable, and then they start getting tired of it. You know what I mean? They're not switching it up. They just get to where they where they want to get to, and then they're like, "Oh, damn, what do I do now?"
Right.
When
there's people at that point, and there's people just like that don't realize that they're so deep into what they're doing and so focused and so in love with what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's gonna affect other people around them.
Yeah.
No, and sometimes it's okay to be selfish if you don't care about the people around you. If you're honest about it, like, and you're just focused on that. But still, that, you know what I mean? Everybody has a role to play, and I think that if you're conscious about, you know what I mean, being active and socially, economically in your environment, you know what I mean? I think you would pay attention to something as far as, you know what I mean, how you treated other people,
yeah,
and what your actions directly, how they affected, you know what I mean, the people around you.
And then also too, like, I always think about it as well. It's like, I don't want to be so focused or caught up in something that I don't like focus on my own life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can be.
But that's with anything.
Yeah,
you know
for real. But you can be so focused on something, or you can be so focused on trying to get something.
Mm-hmm.
When you pass away, you're gonna be like, damn, I done spent all this time.
You can be focused on avoiding something, and that's what you become because you're focused on avoiding it. You know what I mean? What you think is what you become.
Exactly.
It's called become. So your mindset is you being. You know what I mean? What you think about, you would be.
Yeah.
And then that's how you end up living.
Yeah, and like me, I want to like make sure like before I go, I'm happy with what I've done. You know what I mean? Before I leave this earth, I want to make sure I'm happy with what I've done, and I don't want to be too distracted on something that when I do go, I'm like, damn, I done spent the majority of my life focusing on this shit when I could have been focusing on this, and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just how I look at it.
No regrets.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason why I've been trying to focus on getting this project done, and anything creative that I think about, I just want to be able to express that, because I think not only it helps things socially, it brings awareness to situations.
Yeah.
But it helps. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being creative is kind of your way just to express things, whether it's through words, you know what I mean, writing something, drawing something, but that's able to lift weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your mind, and
And as they say, like, communication is always key. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Communication goes a long way.
Communicate. There's millions of different ways to communicate.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So, definitely. And people don't even think about the main way we communicate is through our body language.
Body language, yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? And people are listening to, like, all the rhetoric that's, about dating, all the rhetoric about, you know what I mean, anything. You know what I mean? Popular topics like Kevin Samuels. Yeah. It's amazing how people could take...
Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, rest in peace. It's amazing how people can take what somebody's opinion is, you know what I mean, and you can't disagree with how somebody feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are allowed to
feel the way they feel.
Right, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And I think in our society, that's what we got to get used to, is people being okay with other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But learning how to coexist beyond that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you might not agree on one thing, but you can agree on that.
Yeah.
You deserve to have your own space to, you know what I mean,
do what you want to do.
Live that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel the same way too. It's just like, how I look at it is like, what you're doing, or the way that you look at things, it's not affecting me. You know what I mean?
Right.
To a certain extent, like, you know, it's not really affecting me. So who am I to like judge the way you feel about something or judge the way that you want to like live your life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because nobody's perfect at the end of the day. So, you know, I feel like it's not right for people to put other individuals in a box. Like, oh, you should only be living this type of way. You should only do this.
So let me ask you this: do you think that because a lot of women are saying that all he did was diminish black women? Do you feel that way about with the things that he said, or
but Kevin
Samuels, his
like,
point of views?
Nah, I feel like they probably feel that way because it might have been sometimes he was maybe a little aggressive with his choice of words, but he was kind of, because at the end of the day, you know, I've seen there's like women Kevin Samuels out there with their own channels and stuff, saying the exact same thing that he's saying, but just from a woman's standpoint. Yeah. All he was really saying is, you know, eventually. Because honestly too, like I feel like some of the women that he would bring on there wasn't as intelligent, you know. But the ones that were intelligent,
I think he actually, since he talked to so many people all the time, I think there was a diverse group of women that he was able to have contact with. Yeah, because they're just calling in and he's accepting, you know.
Yeah, just accepting the calls. But I don't feel like he was like degrading women or anything like that. He was just kind of giving them like options, like, okay, you know, you're around 30. 40 years old, you know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Single parent, and like you still want a man with this certain type of caliber, but what is your status? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the certain type of ideal man that you're looking for probably wouldn't even go to your type of status. And not he wasn't trying to sound, you know, negative in a certain type of way. He was just being realistic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you want a 6-7 figure earner man, like, but
which is only.
Which is very few. Like, which is very few. Yeah, which is very few. You know, you got to think about that.
6 feet. Look, 6 feet.
Yeah, you know, 6 feet. Fucking 180 pounds, pure muscle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like the highest paying job right now is, I want to say, is around like $60,000 a year. You know what I mean? So you want somebody making 6-7 figures, you're asking him to be above that level. You know what I mean? Which can be very difficult to find. Same thing for women. Same thing for a woman as well. You know what I mean? So. You know, he was just being realistic with the fact, like, okay, you want this type of man. You know, for one, that can be very rare. And then two, are you sure that man that you're looking for is even going to want to accept you and the flaws that you have as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, you know, I agree with some things. I disagree with some things. But I think his overall point is for people to be realistic about, you know what I mean, where you are as a person, as a human being. You know what I mean? Like, I think some people just have unrealistic standards when it comes to relationships, men or women. Yeah. And it's just a matter of meeting the right person.
The right person that's for you, exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't think there has to be any type of discrepancy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Between people, as long as there's like an open communication, honesty. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And being transparent.
Yeah,
you know, so
being acceptable to whatever that person comes with, you know what I mean, and then being coachable too. Like in a relationship, to a certain extent, you have to be coachable. You have to be able to learn from the individual that you're dealing with,
and realizing who you are in that relationship. You know what I mean? Everybody has a role, even in a family. There's always roles in a family. Yeah, you know what I mean. If you're the father of the house or the mother of the house, or, like everybody has a role, and that's what family is. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you even have cousins. Like you know what I mean.
No, for real.
Look, you have cousins, and you know what I mean. And if you look at it in that concept, that you're looking to create families when you're with somebody, I think that'll be an easier way to look at things. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's all a team concept. Yeah, like it doesn't work. You know what I mean without the other pieces. Yeah. None of it works.
You have to have that foundation.
Can't play chess without all the pieces on the board.
Exactly. No, that's facts. Yeah. That's facts, man. So may I get to the next question?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this next question is what is the biggest problem in modern day relationships? Can I go first?
Oh yeah.
I'll say one of the biggest problems.
Did you say can I go first?
To me, I feel like and this is not for every relationship. Yeah. This is just for like, let's just say America. Let's just say America right now. Yeah. So I feel like one of the biggest problems that a lot of relationships suffer through now is the media or social media. You know, I feel like a lot of man and woman tend to have like a fantasy of what they see on social media. They be like, oh, well, this lady has her relationship like this, or this man has a relationship like this. He got his girl in check, or she got his man in check. Why can't you be like that? When you really shouldn't be living off of what other people's lives are doing. You should be living off what yourself is doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's my opinion.
And that's a good point. I like the point that you said. Like, I think more people have to be more comfortable being, in their own self, and that's kind of being selfish too. You gotta know who you are, know what you want. You know what I mean? Even to be in a relationship. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you don't understand who you are and you haven't took the time to learn who you are
and love yourself,
you're not it's gonna be hard to understand somebody else and their flaws. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we're all gonna be imperfect, but the point of it all is to be somebody's partner. And the best way you could be somebody's partner is being solid within yourself. Yeah. Like, you can't ask anybody. You gotta help yourself before anybody else can help you. You know what I mean? If you don't help yourself, people are less reluctant, more reluctant to help you out. And that's in any area in life. If you look at it that way, like, all right, well, I gotta build myself up to these standards and being able to do certain things on my own as an individual. You know what I mean? Before I can even ask for help. Yeah. And then when you're bonded with somebody else, you guys are gonna go through things together. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to be support for each other. Yeah, and figure them out together. Yeah, and it's more. I think it should be more on a man to carry that weight, especially emotionally. We're not emotional creatures, but we're here. You know what I mean? To support women. You know what I mean? And women are our ribs, but we're here to be a man for you, you know what I mean? Yeah. To provide, protect, in whatever way that is, you know what I mean? You need a shoulder to cry on, things to talk about. I'm here for the clarity of it. I'm like, okay, we're going through this, but we're gonna get through it because I have the answers, or if I don't have the answers, we're gonna find the answers together. Yeah,
you know, and that's the thing, like with being a man too, like we want to get down to the root of the problem. Like when we hear situations that we can't handle, solve it. Like we be like it's either we solve it or we be like, I can't. Yeah, or even sometimes we'll be like, man, like, you give me a problem that I don't even know I can, like, you come over here complaining about some work situations or some gossip, like, I can't fix that. You know what I mean? So it's like, we kind of like...
And that's an unrealistic standard.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like something that, like, I can't, it's out of my control. You know what I mean? But if something that we can control,
but that's what being whole within yourself, I think, works on either end, because if you are susceptible to letting that type of drama come into your life, then you're too invested in that situation. Exactly. You know what I mean?
And that's how I feel about it too. Like you're not
gonna be able to stand strong within yourself if you got all these million things going on. You know what I mean? If you make it simple on yourself, like, these are the things that are important to me, these are my priorities, and keep those priorities a short list of things that you can attain, and then
you have control over.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and make it be very few things. Some people spread themselves too thin, and then try to be able to do a lot in life. Like, you got to make things simple for yourself. Like, I got work for me, I got working out for me, and then I got a current project. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just make it those. And if you have a family, cool, make your families a part of that. But if you don't have a family, you know what I mean? Make your work and your hobbies and, you know what I mean, your priority, and then bring friends into it. But there's, you know what I mean, and there's a way to handle all those and split up your time between all those things that'll help in any relationship. Yeah. Especially if you're trying to date somebody, it's better when you got all your things in order. And that's a lot of what Kevin's saying.
Was saying,
but even when you got things in order, you got to understand who you are as a person. And I know being an adult, we all stuck in our ways. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we comfortable in the way that we do things. And when you bring somebody in on that, you know what I mean? Some people ain't gonna be comfortable with doing things one way, but you know what I mean? But it's what you're able to accept. Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I feel like too, certain relationships and certain people that's looking for a relationship want to find somebody that's going to like help them with their problems, other than that individual figuring out the problem themselves. Yeah. They're like, okay, maybe if I can find somebody, this person can help me out with that problem. You know what I mean? Which me personally, like, I feel like it's like, I wouldn't really go that route. You know what I mean?
That's
Depending
tough.
on it's tough. It's a tough thing. That, like a lot of people might not even be able to bear the situation you're going through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're going, like say if, for instance, you're meeting a girl that might suffer from a certain condition, or she might have certain type of mental issues, depression. That can be a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? Or even being like a man that's messing with a woman that has, you know, multiple children, or a woman that's messing with a man that has multiple children. That can be a lot to deal with, because you're stepping into a fatherhood or a motherhood that you technically don't know nothing about, because you know.
But you weren't even blessed with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's not a situation you blessed.
You know what I mean. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, maybe certain people in those type of with those type of lifestyles might want to look for somebody to fill that void, when really they should be like trying to fill that void like themselves.
Yeah, within themselves, trying to heal. Even past talking about like past traumas, you know what I mean? Because that's all we deal with is, you know what I mean, anxieties, fears, and past traumas. Yeah, you know, and if you break it down like that, like, all right, well, first let me deal with the things that I haven't dealt with previously in my life. And
shadow work. Yeah,
and then let me get over those unconscious fears within myself. And then once you start to see problems and learn how to deal with them, you know what I mean, create healthy boundaries in your life. Yeah, I think that kind of, you know what I mean, helps you be able to develop even better relationships with people. Yeah. Because, you know what I mean, if you can communicate what your boundaries are and know what you can accept and what you won't accept, you know what I mean? I think some people kind of take it too far. Yeah. Because there's some things that are unavoidable, you know what I mean, in the situations. Because, like, you know what I mean? It's funny, because I'm going to bring up cheating real quick. All right, so people say, all right, well, men cheat more, women cheat more. Well, who are those people cheating with? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like,
that's
for a lot of people in relationships, like, so it got to be an even amount in cheating, because, you know what I mean? And I mean, unless, you know, there's same-sex cheating and all that shit, but, you know what I mean? But in reality, like, you know what I mean? There's people cheating.
And that's a good way you put it. That's a good way you put it too. That's a really good way you put it too.
Because they ain't only cheating with single women.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how many more, like, I think single women that there are in the world than anything. And then be like, oh, are there really that many single women? Yeah. You know what I mean? Is there really that many single men?
Sure. I don't really find too many single women. At least not for long. They might be single for a minute. But, you know, after a minute, they gonna find somebody to comfort her, or they gonna get into a relationship.
Yeah, more often than not, like, man, we're biological creatures. We're here to, you know what I mean, to procreate. Yeah. And people get it mixed up. Like, at the end of the day, that's, you know what I mean, that's how biological function. Yeah. And some people don't want to have kids, and that's cool. But
yeah, and nowadays too, I feel like now it's starting to become like it's wrong for a man to like flex his like natural components. Like, for instance, like you be in a gym, right? You be in a gym, pump an iron, hit like a new weight or a PR that you ain't hit. You get up off the bench, you're like, you know what I mean? You turned up. You know, sometimes they can probably be out of line, but at the same time, like, you know, that's what men do. Like, you know, we get.
No, I don't think that's just a sex thing. I think accomplishing anything for yourself, for a personal goal, feels good.
But, you know, men, like, you know, we like a challenge. Like, you know, that's what thrives us. Like, you know, when you was little, somebody be like, I bet you can't jump over that fence. You jump over the fence, you get
competitive.
Yeah, you know, we're competitive. So, like, when we do those type of things and we get joy out of it, you know, we get excited. But nowadays, I feel like that's starting to become like a problem. You know what I mean? Us like flexing our natural components. You know start calling it toxic masculinity.
Yeah, you know I don't really. I mean, I know. I guess we all know some dudes that is overboard with being. You know.
What do you want to do? You want to do the question?
Oh yeah.
All right, for sure.
Let's get it.
For sure.
Let's get it.
While we're here. We rolling right now?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right. So last question is, do you feel like a man should put his purpose before his relationship?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Some explanation, please.
So it's for me, it's simple. When you're spiritual, you believe in something bigger than you. So I believe in Christ, Jesus Christ, that I'm put here to serve for a certain purpose, and I get blessed based off of, you know what I mean, me blessing others. So I got to be able to be spiritually open and understand that I'm being used in my life to help change other people's lives in this world. You know what I mean? We're not here by ourselves for a reason. That's because we all got a special talent or something, a special gift to give to the world. You know what I mean? And we're not supposed to keep it within ourselves. And we get stuck in the monotony of having to go to work and stuff like that because you need to provide for your family. But if you believe that God will provide for you, then you understand that you're much more valuable sometimes in other places doing other things, even if you're not making the money that you are to try to pay those bills. Because let's say you make $100,000 a year, but you're still struggling because of how you live, and you live a certain lifestyle and you're struggling, but you're not living in your purpose. Yeah. And let's say you got out of that to live in your purpose and you only make $50,000, but your family gets to see more of you. You know what I mean? You get to kind of take care of the household more, or you know what I mean, whatever your situation may be. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do and not what you have to do, you end up being able to be mentally, emotionally, psychologically more free in your lifestyle.
More available.
Yeah, and you're more of a vessel to be used by God when you're doing what you're special, using your gift. You know what I mean, in the world. You know what I mean, and we're not always meant to work, and you know what I mean. I don't. It's not slavery, but
we're not always meant to
it's kind of tough because people when you work at every 9 to 5, people tell you when to go to lunch, when to go home, when you can take a vacation,
when you're coming back to work.
Yeah. So it's different when you're an entrepreneur like myself. It's different because you have the freedom to decide when that, but you have to work harder as an entrepreneur to actually get everything in line with how you need it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But once you get in line with everything how you need it, it's celebrated to be an entrepreneur because you have a lifestyle that most people want, but also, you know what I mean, you're working in something that you're passionate about.
Yeah,
so
your purpose.
The 80 hours that you put in doing something for you and serving a bigger purpose is bigger than you doing 40 hours or 50 hours. You know what I mean?
That's something that you don't really want to do.
Right. You know what I mean? You're getting paid at both.
No, for real, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but one thing I would say, my bad for cutting you off too, but one thing I would say too about the difference of being an entrepreneur and working a job is like when you work a job, your income or your check is like fixed. You know what I mean? You're going to get that same amount of income every single week or every single 2 weeks, and it's not going to change unless you get like a raise. But being an entrepreneur, you kind of set the prices on how hard you work. You know what I mean? And back to the question, I would say also as well, I wouldn't put my relationship over my purpose either. Just off of the simple.
You wouldn't, or you would?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put my relationship over my purpose. Just off of the simple fact is that us as human beings, I wouldn't even say men, but men mostly too. But us as human beings, we live off of our purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like for instance, if I have a good paying job, or if I'm doing entrepreneur, if I'm an entrepreneur and it's paying me very, very well, and I start focusing on, the problems that I'm dealing with in my relationship, or maybe just focusing a little bit too much on how good my relationship is going, I can start losing track on, what it is that I'm doing that makes me happy as well. Right. And that's keeping me afloat. Right. You know what I mean? And then, because if I start putting our relationship or my relationship over that and start focusing on just the relationship, maybe things can start falling apart. Right. And it's not even to say that relationship might even last as long as I plan it to last. Right, because you're not able to focus on my purpose, to live in your purpose, which will help you provide for the family you want to have. Exactly. You know what I mean? So if you got kids, if you have children, I don't have children, so maybe it's not even right for me to speak on this. But I feel like if you have children, they can probably start seeing you slacking that. You know what I mean? You start having problems with your job. They see that it's stressing you out. They be like, oh man, mommy's, she don't look like she's doing too right, or our daddy don't look like he's handling things correctly. You know what I mean? So it's important to focus on your purpose, other than putting too much of your time on your relationship. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's just how I feel about it. Because you have to come to any relationship whole.
You know what I mean? As simple as that. You got to come to a relationship whole.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And being whole is, you know what I mean, knowing, taking care of your business first to be able to contribute to your household business.
Yeah. And your purpose can be like whatever. Like if your purpose is to, you know, own a business or just be healthy or, you know, just be disciplined. You know, whatever your purpose is, you got to make sure that
your purpose could be just telling your story.
Yeah, just telling your story.
Way.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Letting somebody know the things that you've gone through, what you've been through, and you know what I mean? It'll help somebody else.
That's what my older brother talks about a lot. Like he says, because, you know, my older brother, he's been through a lot, done a lot.
Yeah.
You know, my older brother that I do the trekking with sometimes. Johnny,
right?
Yeah, Johnny, exactly. And like, you know, he's always talking about like, you know, because he experienced a lot at a young age. You know, he definitely was on demon time back in the day. And you know, like now he's felt like he's been through so much that like he's like, man, now he just want to help people.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just want to show people a better route to take, or just tell people that like, you know, whatever you put in your mind to, whatever you want to do it. You know, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. You know what I mean? And that's his purpose.
Well,
you know?
I told you, like all of us got that mischievous bone in us.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you see people pretend like they're just completely innocent, men or women.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, well, if you don't want to be honest about it, I know, you know.
Yeah. You ain't fooling me. Like,
right. But, I mean, my demeanor about things is like, all right, well, just, even if somebody were to tell me something that wasn't true or anything, I'd just say, okay.
Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt. Like, all right. I'll play a fool real quick with you. Like, all right, that's cool.
That's fine with me. It's cool. However you want to play.
Exactly. However you want to play, that's cool.
It don't mess with my life.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time or my energy dealing with like trying to figure out what you doing or what you got going.
No,
you know what I mean?
And I don't put too much stock in any of that because even as a friend, how I look at things is my only job as a friend is to make sure that you okay, to ask you how you doing, like how you feeling, make sure you're good. If you're in a bad situation, I'm not going to give you advice, but I am going to be here if you ask me anything to help you, you know what I mean, figure out things in a healthy manner. That's it. You know what I mean? We're here as support for one another, no matter if you're friends, mother, brother, you know what I mean? You got to be open to communication and know that people are going through things different than what you're going through, but we're all going through something.
Yeah. Everybody's going through something.
Always. You know what I mean? And, you know, sometimes people don't look at it that way because people see things as like, all right, well, your mom and your dad ain't telling you what they going through, so they got to be okay. Like, you know, people mask things very well. You know what I mean? Better than you ever could think.
Imagine.
Yeah, better than you ever could think.
Yeah.
People can hide, you know, things in the depths inside of them because that's who we are as humans. Like, you know what I mean? We fight our own demons by ourselves.
We hold up a big plate of armor in front of ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? This flesh is, you can call it your spiritual armor. You know what I mean? That's all this flesh is. So think about all the things that your flesh is going through. You know what I mean? And I've heard I've heard a million different stories from, you know what I mean, to molestation to murder. You know what I mean? It's all out there. You know what I mean? People can kill somebody and not even mean to do it and have to live through that for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you got to sleep with that shit at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Even if that's what you want to do, somebody out there that's wanting to kill people, you got to think about it as that's something that they want to do at the moment. That really intrigues them. I mean, you're not gonna be able to figure out why they want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's not your demon.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom be watching like those documentaries like on those serial killers and stuff. That be like hunting down, like, I forgot, this one last one she was watching, I forgot the dude's name, but it was a guy who was hunting down little boys and, like, you know, molesting them and, you know, all that crazy stuff. And, like, you know, they were just, like, tripping out. They're like, what drove this man to, like, be like this? You know what I mean? And he was just, like, he just thought it was no problem to him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was his demon that he was coping with.
Right.
You know
what I think some people, they get wrapped up in the psychology of it, of really needing to figure out what other people are thinking, and that's not your job. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, like, the setting for them is only in a minimum stage. So they're killing people that are victims in some way because they're not running into Ray Ray house where they got, you know what I mean?
Oh,
they got, look, honest story. Yeah. They're not running into the trap house.
Yeah, they're not going to the traps. And
so they're not that crazy.
Yeah. They got some type of sense.
They're not that crazy.
Ray Ray house.
You know what I'm saying? They're not running into the trap house like, nigga, I want all the smoke.
Yeah.
Like, no, nigga. They're catching niggas slipping.
Victim. Well, I wouldn't even say victims. They're catching like easy prey, I guess.
There are no people that just are unaware at the time. You know what I mean? And anybody can get caught up like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't see, the best.
That is so true though, because all the boys that they were showing, I was like, yeah, this definitely ain't no little Ray Ray that they showed. It was like some little innocent looking like suburban little boys and stuff. Like, like some boys
and
that
little boys at that. You know what I'm saying? Little boys can't protect themselves more often than not. But what was their parents?
Some of them he went towards were like teenage, borderline almost adults. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You can kind of get to him without him, you know what I mean, pulling a strap on you or whatever.
Yeah, he's still like an adolescent. You know what I mean?
So there's very few teens that are taught
how to use weapons.
Use their weapons or have
tactical.
Weapons. Even if they know how to use them, they're probably not in their room or anything. Yeah. I don't know where he was attacking these people, but
like I said, like I caught my mom's watching it, and I was just like peeping and like, man, this shit crazy. What you watching? She started telling me what it was, and I'm like, oh damn, like that's crazy. Yeah. But I was just like, cause he was going around murdering like tons of little, and he was only going after little boys, no girls. And I'm like, man, this dude was like on the. If I said his name, you'll probably recognize him because he was a famous serial killer.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm about to cut it off.
Okay.
You want to wrap?
Yeah, that's
suit over. Get to the final little.
Okay. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our questions. Again, if you guys have any suggestions or any topics you guys want to hear us talk about, let us know. We'll definitely try to get on top of that and discuss it. But other than that, though, we hope you guys have a very good day. Get 1% better every day. Peace.